If there's one thing that I hope I have taught you, if there's one thing, it's read the statute. Whenever you're talking about something, maybe something you're sued for, or if something of some line on your credit card, a traffic ticket, whatever, I want you to learn how to read the statute, become familiar with it. The statute will set you free. The information will set you free. It's the most important thing. And I want you to think this. I want you to start to research things when you're charged with something. And the first question that you have to ask, and everybody has to ask, and I mentioned this before, I did a little research. And the question is, what exactly is President Trump charged with civilly? What are we looking at? What specifically is this matter? What is it? I have a friend of mine who repeatedly says, it's BS. As we've been discussing, not the Harry Frankfurt term, but it's BS. It's BS. BS. What do you mean? BS. Okay, why do you keep saying that? It's just BS. All right, fine. But does Trump have a point? What is his position? It doesn't matter. He's great. And you hear this a lot because people love Trump and they just think that whatever he says is terrific. And that's all. They don't have anything specifically to say regarding. So question number one is, what is he charged with? What is the burden? What are we looking at? How is he doing this? How does he handle this? What specifically? What if he never meant to intend or to hurt or harm or screw over anyone? What if none of it applies? What if none of this applies? What if there was you cannot prove any intent on his part to defraud anybody? What if no one has come forth and complained? Think about this. You're charged with something and nobody's complained. Nobody. You ever heard of that before? Have you? Technically speaking, you might involve yourself in some kind of a let's say of a toxic nuisance, some form of I don't know, some form of something that you've done, you've burned something, or nobody has to complain. Now understand something, and please like and share is correct. Question number one. They're going against him because he's Donald Trump and they're trying to get him off the ballot, and this is all political. Let's make sure we understand this thing, okay? Let's make sure we understand this. Let's make sure we don't in any way confuse what we are saying with what the truth is, okay? Let me just make sure we understand this. Please, let me make sure we understand what's happening. You got it? It's to get him off the ballot, to drive him crazy. There's a bullseye. Anybody who can bring me this scalp of Donald Trump. Is there any doubt in anybody's mind? Does anybody have any doubt? Anybody? Does anybody say, well, that may not be. It's not necessarily. It's exactly why. That's exactly why they're doing it. Please be not mistaken. Okay? Just don't confuse yourself. That's number one. Number two, what exactly do they have to prove? What are we looking at? How is this going to turn out? Are they going to shut him down? They're going to put his company into receivership? What's the statute? It's a bitch. Oh my God. Well, let me explain this to you. We'll talk about other stuff too, but first and foremost, it's horrid. Horrid. So two things I want to say. Number one, three or four. Number one, like this video. Like it, subscribe, like it. I'm getting a lot of comments from people who say, this is different. You're not the usual, and I'm not. I don't want to be usual at all. I want to tell it the way it is. And whatever you think is wrong. This is not about Trump, pro-Trump, even though I want to see him destroy this Democratic Party. If Bobby Kennedy can do it, let him do it. If DeSantis can do it, fine. I don't care. Trump's the guy to do it. That's number one. Number two, my friends, I am telling you that while we're looking at this, there's a lot of other people who are looking at other things that are so frightening. Are you following what's going on in the world? Or have you talked to folks who deal with commodities, who talk about food, who talk about the real problems associated with food and delivery? And I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. You are going to need emergency food one day, guaranteed. It's absolutely true. And the company for you to go to right now is called preparewithlionel.com. That's simple, preparewithlionel.com. It's the best. Let me just, and I want you to just do me a favor. I'm going to make this very, very simple. I want you to go preparewithlionel.com, just because I can talk about it all day long, but I want you to see this. I want you to see what we're talking about. Read the testimonials. Just look at this. You're going to say, wow. And thank God these great people at My Patriot Supply have been spending their time trying to do this for you, because you can never replicate or do this on your own. Do you understand what's happening? Preparewithlionel.com. And when you get this, by the way, free shipping, no marking, nobody knows what you've got. Send me a picture of it. Tell me how you've coordinated, because that is like one of these things. That is like ammo. That's food. Emergency food. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. And the response has been incredible, because people are very, very smart. Preparewithlionel.com, emergency food, save 25%. 25% off a 3-month emergency food kit. Preparewithlionel.com. Okay, let's get down to business. What are we talking about here? First of all, there is something called 6312. 63(12). It's from New York's executive law. It is not necessary for the government or for the state to prove, to establish losses occurred, the people were, shortchanged, or that the defendant had any intent to deceive. The consistent and systematic presentation of evidence of overstated financial documents alone, according to some people, satisfies the legal definition of fraud outlined in this special statute that Jack Javits helped the state to pass. Additionally, the incorporation of ambiguous and, as they say, unenforceable disclaimers cannot serve as a means to protect fraudulent actions, particularly, as said, when the facts in question are uniquely known to the defendants, even when the recipients are well versed in financial matters. So if Trump says, now listen, don't pay attention to that. Don't, you get this appraisal yourself. I'm just saying, this is a bitch. This goes to show you not just that Trump didn't have to intend, or that he's dealing with people who are well versed and they know what's going on. It doesn't matter. Section 6312 of the New York's executive laws does not require the government to prove financial loss. Presenting consistently exaggerated financial statements is enough to meet the legal definition of fraud under the statute. Including vague disclaimers in such statements does not protect against fraud, especially when the defendants possess exclusive knowledge of the relevant facts. So that's what we've got right now. This is a very, 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 very scary situation. This is scary. This is a bitch of a statute. This is a bitch. Then you always have to read the statute. I don't know what the defense is. I don't know. I would have to research this. But the other day when this came up, I was explaining to somebody, it didn't seem to make any sense. I said, I'm not that familiar with the case then, but I got to tell you something. I'm not sure if this necessarily means that there has to be an intent to defraud, and that's a huge, huge, huge problem. Okay? Big, big, big problem. Now, let me ask you this question, and I want you to do me a favor. I'm going to try my best to ask you this question, and I don't want you to. I don't want you to answer as you usually do. And I'm sorry. Please, please, please do not. How do we say this? Don't take this the wrong way. This is Al. I've got to send her something. Okay. Here is my point. Do you think that the arguments that have been presented to a lot of people heretofore are in any way there for any other reason than to hurt Trump? The answer is no. No. It is there. The case is there to hurt Trump. You understand that? The case is there to hurt Trump. You understand this? You got it? Hang on a minute. Let me try this again to you. And forgive me for being so obtuse here, because there's all this stuff. I want to make sure I get the good stuff for you here, because this is serious stuff here. If I can prove to you, let's say I've got affidavits that shows that Letitia James, the state attorney general, is doing this merely to punish the president politically. If I can show this, does that in any way serve as a valid defense to anything? Yes or no? If I can show that the motivation behind this case was not for the protection of the people of New York, but just to get Trump, do you think that's a valid defense? Does that mean anything? Do I get the chance to go to the courts and say, throw this out, Judge, because we have reason to believe, and we can show that the reason for this, the motivation behind this, was in order to hurt President Trump, that there was no need for this, nobody complained, and that the motivation, the animus behind this, was not in any way to protect anybody, but to hurt President Trump? It means absolutely nothing. Nothing. Do you hear what I'm saying? Nothing. It means nothing. And that should bother you to no end. Because what it means is, what they're telling you is that, you mean to tell me the motivation behind this? Motivation means nothing. It means absolutely zippity-doo-dah. And there's something wrong with it. The prosecutor has so much power. Prosecutors who decide not to charge something or to charge too much, as long as there's probable cause, as long as you're not being paid. Tish James announced before, when she was running, she says, I'm going to go after Trump. I'm going to get him. It's legal. If she'd have said it about Al Capone or Charles Manson, not that they're in any way, you would say, well, that's okay. Well, to some people, they think Donald Trump is whatever. Now, let me tell you something right now. Let me go back a little bit. Have you ever heard about the famous electron split case? By the way, keep in mind, Trump's got 91 charges, 44 federal, 47 charges over 4 indictments. 91 total charges. Wow. Anyway, have you ever heard this? If you have a wall and you have slits, right? And you send light beams, photons, and they go through this, you should see a pattern behind, where these slits in the wall are, to show electrons here, or photons here, photons here, photons here, to correspond to the slits. Well, that's not what you saw. They showed scattered patterns. How in the hell do these things scatter? Is it a particle? Is it a wave? If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. It blew people away. It's like, wait a minute. Are photons, what is it? This is quantum mechanics. Wait a minute. What do you mean quantum mechanics? It means it can be both. It can be both. It depends. It depends. What are you talking about? We can't even tell you where an electron is. We can tell you the probability. Okay. Do you know what's interesting? That same rule, that same idiocy, that same strangeness applies to Trump. See, the rules don't apply to anybody but Trump. The rules don't apply. If you went in and you basically told, he's yelling at that judge, he's telling that judge, you son of a... This is, it's for anybody else, I would say, whoa, but not Trump. Not Trump. Not Trump. Isn't that something? Doesn't that blow you away? Well, there's something about it. There's something about this weird, I don't know what the word is, but this thing he does, it's the strangest thing I've ever seen in my life. The rules don't apply to him. It's like he's in his own quantum mechanics world. Nothing. He screams. Did you see this judge? Trump sitting there just glaring at him. And the pictures make him look to be oafish. Let me ask you something. Yes or no? Yes or no? Quick vote. Quick vote. Cameras in the courtrooms. Yes or no? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Cameras in the courtroom. Yes or no? Come on. Anybody? And by the way, there is a statute of limitations argument, which would say have tried to do this before. This is one of those arguments. Anybody? Look at this. Daily Mail says, Trump makes wild claim that 80% of fraud claims could be thrown out because the statute of limitations has expired. President gives thumbs up in court as judge slams prosecutors for a waste of time for having accountants testify. By the way, this is, so just be very careful whenever the judge like scolds the prosecutor. It's like he has to do that. He has to do that to make sure he doesn't look like he's completely in bed with them. So, cameras in the courtroom, yes or no? Yes or no? Cameras in the courtroom, yes or no? In fact, I'm going to do something right now. As you decide, I'm going to add something right here. I'm going to do a poll. I like these little polls. Under the community. Do you ever go to my community section? It's very good. I'm going to put a call. Should cameras be allowed in courtrooms? That's it, right? Should cameras be allowed in courtrooms? I love polls. And the text poll is going to be a yes or no. Okay? Now, let me ask somebody. Why do you think cameras should be allowed in courtroom? Why do you think? Why will cameras be, why should they? Let me just ask a question. Why should they be? Anybody? Why should they be? Tell me why. Come on. Tell me. Why should they be? There should be cameras in all courtrooms, including federal courts. Why? What do cameras do? Tell me. Transparency. Okay. Give me another one. Transparency. Yes, unless you have something to hide from the general public. Ooh, let's so like. Okay. More honesty? Really? You think you're going to get more honesty if you have cameras in the courtroom? What happens when you put a camera there? So we can see and hear the truth. Half the stuff you're not going to hear. You're not going to hear bench conferences. You're not going to hear in-camera hearings. What about juvenile cases? What about sexual battery cases? What about equity cases, divorce, juvenile, termination of parental rights, dependency actions, things like that, drug abuse court, cases involving involuntary commitment, mental health courts. Any problem with that? Anybody? Come on. Anybody? Come on. Any problem with that? How about your divorce? You want your divorce? You want your divorce? Anybody? By the way, some cases don't have juries. A lot of cases don't have bench trials. There are some cases there are equity courts. Juvenile divorce. A lot of times there's no jury. It's just a jury. You'll make an application for the court. Only high crimes courts with our lizard class. Okay. Come on. People's court. You're just saying little things. I like that. You're just giving little things. People's court. Yes, no. Tell me, give me a reason why. You want truth. You think that by putting a camera there, you're going to hear the truth? What does the truth mean? Does it mean the unadulterated truth? You think people are going to camp up for the cameras? You damn right they're going to do it. I used to, for the longest time, say cameras in courtrooms. Absolutely. I thought cameras in the courtrooms are the best thing in the world. The old Brandeis line that sunshine is the best disinfectant. BS, caca del toro. You understand what I'm saying? Nuts. No way. I'm changing a breakdown of Trump's in New York court. Okay. Okay, we can change this. Very good. Change it. I used to think all the time. Made so much sense. Oh, this makes so much sense. This makes so much sense because you see what's happening is that this way there's going to be truth. And when there's cameras, you're not going to be able to have any fooling around. And yeah, right. Uh-huh. Yeah. And it'll be wonderful because yeah. Here we go. Ali Tabooger. I'm sorry. That could very well be your name. Don't mean to laugh. Ali says, Ali Tabooger said, by the way, thank you very much, Ali. Cameras would demystify the court system. By the same token, they would cheapen the legal process by turning it into theater. Thank you. First of all, demystify. What does that demystify mean? By the way, you're onto something. And let me tell you what else you did, which is very good. You know what you did? You handled two different things. Yes, no. Yes, but. Yes, but. Yes, no. I love that. Yes, but. There's no such thing. There's no Manichaean. There's no Ali. There's no right or wrong. Yes. Demystify what? Demystify these things are open. Go down to the courtroom. You want to go see it? Go look at it. Go look for it. Go down. Go ahead. Walk into a court. I think it's some of the best. I know we used to have people all the time. We had groupies. People who were there every day. And I would ask them, what do you think? There were some of the best observers were clerks, bailiffs, court officers. Bailiffs, by the way, bus drivers with guns. One of my favorite jokes. Ask them, what do you think? I remember one time it was so funny how years ago I was defending a woman charged with attempted first degree murder. Got her acquitted. And my grandmother was in town. And she came to the courthouse. And she got along with, here's my grandma. She was so sweet. And she's talking to the defendant. How did she do? We won, Grandma. That's so great. It's like, yeah. Woman was charged. I don't want to go into the specifics of it. But anyway, attempted first degree murder because he did not die. Malarkey says Gates filed a motion to vacate the chair. Okay. I don't like Gates. I don't like it. I think it's smarmy. I don't think it's a good idea. Doesn't help the cause. I know you like it. He's creepy, smarmy, slimy, unctuous, penguin. I don't care, but let's go back to this. But thank you. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. Now, here we go. When you're in a courtroom, and I've seen this before, sometimes you're walking in the hallway and you pop in and all of a sudden the person's doing it. Sometimes the judge is like this. clerk sitting there like this, bailiff's not, and all of a sudden somebody walks in and sits down, and the questioner will pick up speed, like, oh, I'm being watched, and he'll change his demeanor. So one argument against this is that people, anytime you watch, it's like Heisenberg in that sense. Whenever you watch, people change their demeanor. They change the way they look. They change their demeanor. Okay, fine. Great. Okay. Now, here's the thing which is important. But isn't that just a product of just human nature? The Sixth Amendment guarantees a speedy and public trial. What's a public trial? Cameras. I say no. No cameras. No. Why? Because I don't want that judge representing you. I mean, let's say I'm representing you for something, and it's a case where I want to get some good, the public doesn't know about this. Let's keep it here so that the judge can make a decision. A judge who has to run for re-election. I don't want the judge to get real tough because the subject matter is such that nobody likes you because you're a dirtbag. We don't get a chance because the judge has to make a big stink about everything because, oh boy, now that there's cameras here, I got to be, I got to be tough. No. First time I ever saw a camera in a courtroom, it was in college. It was a Ted Bundy trial. Judge Cowart loved it. Some of the best stuff ever. And the thing about the thing that is that you'll find for the most part about cases like this, they're so boring. God, they're so boring. It's so boring. I see it all the time. Get to ask somebody a question. State your name for the record. Officer Yablitsky. Officer, where are you employed? The Onondaga Police Department. Officer, were you employed on this date? Yes. On this particular time, were you on patrol August 14th at 8 o'clock? Yes. Did you have the occasion to stop an individual later found out to be so-and-so? Yes. What happened? Boom. I just cut through about 50 things. They got right down. Let's get right down to business. I pulled him over. Why'd you pull him over? Let's say it's a DUI case because he was weaving. He hit the curb 3 times. What happened then? I activated my overhead beacons, alighted from the vehicle, asked him for they always say the same thing. Ask him for his license, get a strong odor of alcohol about his person, fumble for the license, use a car for support. Based upon my observation of this, I cut a field sobriety test. He failed, and I placed him under arrest for DUI. Boom, that's it. End of discussion. Officer, did you see the person in court today? Yes, there he is. That's a defendant. Did all this occur in Onondaga County? Yes, thank you very much. You're a witness. I just made the prima facie case. That's it. I got the elements in. Who, what, when, where, why. Always jurisdiction. Did this happen in Passaic County? Yeah, because if it didn't, I've got no jurisdiction. You know how many times I've won a case because they never said where this happened? Never said. At one time, it was nothing big. It was like a hit and run or something. I don't know what it was, but they kept saying Florida Avenue. It was on Florida Avenue. I just waited. No questions. And my client looked at me like, no questions. I got no questions. I'm going to get through with this. Please rest your case. Rest it. Rest. The state rest, yes. Boom. Your Honor, at this time, we always say at this time. Your Honor, at this time. What about just say it? Why do you have to announce now? Of course it's at this time. Your Honor, a week from now, I would like to say something. Your Honor, 2 years ago, I would like to. No, it's at this time. Don't say it like whether or not. We got the or not. It's included in whether. You don't need to say that. Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to make a motion for a judgment of acquittal. JOA. Why? Because they did not establish venue. It is imperative that this prosecutor establish jurisdiction. They said Florida Avenue. There's a Florida Avenue in New York. There's a Florida Avenue in Washington, D.C. There's a Florida Avenue in Polk County, Florida. There's a Florida Avenue. There's Florida Avenues everywhere. What are we talking about? You're right. Dismissed. See you later. Acquittal. a judgment of acquittal. It used to be called a directed verdict. It's a judgment of acquittal. What about this one? So I pulled him over. You did? Yeah. And I asked him, were you drinking? I asked him, did you kill that girl? And he said, did you kill him? Did you kill him? And he said it. This is what we do. We get these. Sit quiet, sit tight. Pray to God the guy rests. Pray he rests because they never identified the defendant. They do it like this. There's 50 people sitting over there. Who's he talking about? The one next to him? I don't know what he's talking about. Yeah, I told him. Here's one for you. This is my favorite. When somebody dies, murder. You have this thing to say, Joe Yablitsky, murdered, dead. You are charged with killing Joe Yablitsky. State your name for the record. Mrs. Yablitsky. What is your relationship to the deceased? I'm his mother. Ooh, you got to get careful with this. I'm showing you what's been marked as State's Exhibit number 1 for identification. Please, I'm sorry. I'm showing this. What is this? Who is this? Yep, that's my son. He's dead. That's him. He's dead. He's dead. And doctor, the person that you inspected, the person that you looked at, is it this guy? Yeah. So the guy that we're talking about who's dead is the one in the indictment, right? Good. That's it. Pretty simple, isn't it? You don't want to charge you killed somebody. You want to prove that guy, Joe Yablitsky. Sometimes it's tough. Dental records. One time they missed it. They almost granted jail away on a murder. And then you can always get away with it by asking the judge to reopen the case. Dear God, please let me do this. Because no judge wants to be a part of letting some murderer walk. Now, what I just told you is the most exciting stuff in the world, but you'll never know this. I don't want cameras there. Sorry. I don't want cameras there. I don't want this court TV stuff. I don't want that. I don't want Nancy Grace second guessing me and Vinnie Paladin. And they're good people. I used to work with them at court TV, but no way. And I changed my mind on that one. Oh my God, I changed my mind. Changed my mind like you can't believe. Now, what's Trump's defense? I don't know. I don't even understand that. I don't even understand. I don't know what's his defense. And this one particular judge pretty much said that he granted summary judgment. He basically said, look, the fact that these were introduced, we're just gonna do damages. Like they did with Alex Jones. Oh, you defaulted. We're just gonna go for damages. So and thank God Joe Tacopina is not involved. Have you seen that Habita? What's her name? Habita Hamana? What is her name? Habiba Hamana? Habina Haba? What is her lawyer's name? Habina Hamana? Hang on a minute. Hama. I don't know what her name is. You know what I'm talking about. Trump lawyer. Her name is Alina Haba. I don't know anything about her. I don't know if I don't know. Let me ask you something tell you about lawyers, about people who are really good at this. If you get an Abby Lowell to help, you want him to help. You want somebody who's really connected to help. For example, Bob Menendez to help Hunter Biden. You want somebody really connected because that guy you can kind of cut off at the pass. You can somebody who you have access to. They'll listen to you. See, there's nothing better when you're so respected. They listen to you. By the way, sometimes there have been the most incredible stories in the world. I got to tell you something. Read the statute. Years ago, there was a guy in Tampa, Florida named Pat Whitaker. Pat Whitaker was this famous, I think a lot of the stories were rather apocryphal, but it was very, very good. And Pat Whitaker had this famous case where he represented a guy who was charged with fishing without a license. And I think it was a mullet. Was it a mullet he caught? I think it was a mullet. In any event, So he goes in front and he makes a motion to dismiss. And he alleges that a mullet is a bird. A mullet, and don't get me, I don't remember precisely what it was. Forgive me, my ichthyology is not the best, but apparently this has a gullet versus a gizzard versus a fish. I don't know what the hell it is, but technically speaking, it's a fish. I mean, it's a bird, this fish. And it was great. It was great. And the judge said, okay, sounds good to me. That's pretty good. You'd be surprised sometimes you read these really stupid laws. Read the statute. One time when I was brand new, just started, brand new, left the prosecutor's office, and all my friends were trying to throw me a case, just to help me out because I didn't have any, We were street lawyers. We were like MASH unit, like Matlock, Bobby Lee Cook. We're not in firms. We're out there slogging it out, which is fun. Anyway, this guy called me. He said, listen, he said, my daughter, she's got some emotional problem. She was at a party. We have a thing in Tampa called Gasparilla. Every year they dress up like pirates and act like damn fools. Anyway, she threw this bottle and it broke. And they charged her with something. And just dispose of it. I'll give you a grand or whatever. Just take care of this case and pay the fee and blah, blah, blah. So I read the statute. So what is she charged with? And the case was, it was a city code. So I got to go and I don't know about city code. So I had to go to the law library, look up the city code. I'm looking at it. And it says throwing broken glass. I'll never forget that. And I'm reading it. It's against the law to throw broken glass. I said, who wrote this? I said, the glass wasn't broken till after she threw it. I'm reading. I'm saying, I must be. You can't shepherdize it in the old days. There's no research. Nobody ever did anything. It was the damnedest thing anybody's ever seen. So, I went before this judge, and I said, set it for trial. And the judge looked at me like, what? Set it for a trial? Plead no contest, withhold, no point. I mean, no point. Withhold, court costs only. Forget it. It's done. Set it for trial. Did you hear what I said? Enter a plea in nolo. No probation, no paper, court costs, nothing. I'll waive the court. Just get this off my docket. So I said, approach the bench, please. I said, Honor, it's crazy. Read the statute. She goes, throwing broken glass. So she turns to the prosecutor. Did you know about this? Prosecutor said, I don't know about city code. Court judge says, do I hear an oral motion to dismiss? Prosecutor said, yeah, go ahead. I said, I'd like to move to dismiss. Great. Prosecutor likes that because the judge dismissed it, not the prosecutor. The prosecutor's record is, I didn't lose a case. The judge dismissed it. I don't lose. Anyway, loved it. Loved it. I love stuff like that. That's why it's important for people to look at what it is. What's the case? What does it say? What does this mean? I told you in the state of New Jersey, they got this stupid law. If you have in the state of New Jersey, in the statutes, you can't hang anything from your rearview mirror, including handicap parking thing, which is what they give you to hang from your rearview mirror. Like, do you not read your own statute? The law says anything that obscures, I think I've told you this, anything that obscures the license tag, anything, if it says New Jersey or New York, California, if any, those rims, those frames that come when you go to a car dealership, you have this frame. If any portion of that obscures anything, even though you can clearly see that California, well, it's no good. They give you a ticket. That's how they pull you over. Take those rims off. Take that frame off. Take it off. Stupid things like that. But that's what it says. That's what it says. That's the law. And with Trump, I'm thinking, what's the defense? What do you do? What are we doing here? So frankly, I would say, Mr. President, you didn't hear from me with raise holy hell. So just raise, just hope to God somebody does something stupid. I can't tell you to do this. I can't tell you to break the law. I'm not telling you to be obstreperous on purpose. And I'm not telling you to I'm not telling you to cause a problem, but what I'm telling you is that it might behoove you to just say, well, the judge hates me. Why? Because he hates me. It's clear. Well, you keep calling him names. Well, that's beside the point. I mean, so I don't know what do you tell Trump? How do you tell Trump to what? Knock it off? How do you do that? I don't know. That's the way he is. And let me tell you something. All the other cases, they're watching him. They're saying, this guy's deadly. This guy looks good. This guy shows up in court and says, he looks damn good. He looks like he's really damn good. The way he holds, the way he glares like this. See, there's this thing. People are looking at this and they're saying, this is just nonsense. This is just absolute nonsense. You see, that's the thing which is the most important. That's the most important thing. The fact is, you want the world to say, leave this man alone. He's got to fly in, go to this trial for what? You're telling me he didn't defraud anybody? Nobody's complaining. You're doing this on your own. None of the banks, nobody said, hey, he said Mar-a-Lago was worth $300 million. You're doing this on your own? Come on. It's exactly what's happening, friends. It's exactly what's happening. I hate when they pick on people. Which reminds me, our dear friend, you know what I'm going to talk about now. I'm talking about our buddy, Mike Lindell. I love that guy. I'm sorry. What they made him go through, you want to, aside from having the best products and the most wonderful sheets and pillowcases and all this stuff. Have you been to mypillow.com? Have you done this? Made in America, that great, brave American. Use promo code Lionel and get a free gift. No obligation necessary. No purchase necessary. Check out what they've got. It's the most incredible. I'm looking at it right now. This is his statute. His thing. Look at this. Unbelievable. There's that Punim. Look at that face. My Pillow 2.0 King and Queen with this air cooled this temperature. Original My Slippers. 6-piece towel sets. The My Store. The biggest bed sheet sale ever. Giza as low as $29.98. Kitchen towels. My Mattress Topper. Mattresses, Go Anywhere pillows, My Robes, My Pillow sandals. My God, it's everywhere. That brave and great man. Go to mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. And do the right thing. Plus, you'll love it. I like that little pillow I told you. It's my favorite. Anyway, dear hearts, this is going to be a wonderful time. Let us, if you pray for President Trump. If not, pray for him anyway. He needs help. He needs our help. He needs our focus. Do you understand this? He needs our focus. And I'm telling you, I feel so terrific. You're going to see one of the biggest flops ever in Gavin Newsom. He is going to be the most uninspiring. And the fact that he's got the hair and this will make him look like a bigger empty suit than you can imagine, especially when he's made to answer the calls of ineptitude on the part of his treatment of his own state. What are you talking about? And Bobby Kennedy goes in for the kill, just like Kimball writes in that great piece I read. That's wonderful. I've been saying this for the longest time. Bobby Kennedy's going to pull votes away from Democrats. So this is good. Remember this. I want you to think about this, okay? Think about this very, very carefully, all right? I want you to close your eyes and think about this. I want you to think that you say, ladies and gentlemen, on election night or whatever it is, maybe who knows? It might be maybe it's even done in the House. I have no idea. But they say to you, it is now official. The winner, the President of the United States in the 2024 election, is again Donald Trump. Think about that. What if he's charged? What if he's on trial? What if he's convicted? What if he's wearing an ankle bracelet? What if, whatever? And Trump says, I don't care. I won. I beat you in the House, maybe that, whatever. Just think about this. For the first time, he doesn't win. They will go. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me. Can you imagine what they're going to do? They're going to go crazy. They're going to go crazy. And he's going to use it. Look at my ankle bracelet. Look. These are state charges. Can Donald Trump can he pardon himself for federal offenses? I think he can. The Office of Legal Counsel doesn't say so. So what? Listen to me. Don't lose faith. This is going to be one of the most exciting times we have ever seen in our life. We're going to have so much fun. Do you hear what I'm saying? Don't lose faith. Don't lose faith. Don't lose faith. So we'll check in tomorrow, see what we're doing. In the meantime, did you sign up? Did you get the newsletter today? One more time. It's a beaut. It's a doozy. Let me give it to you one more time. This is the link, because I'm going to send out again tomorrow. Those who sometimes, if it didn't go through the first time, okay, this is it right now. I'm going to give you this. I'm going to give you this right now as we speak. Sign up for the newsletter. It's a beaut. You're going to love it. Ain't it a peach? Anyway, remember that joke? It's an old joke. All right, dear friends, that's that. Now listen, you have a great and a glorious day. Oh, by the way, Malarkey, thank you. And Ali Tabuger, thank you so much for your kindness, your perspicacity, your beneficence, your philanthropy, your kindness, your heart, your soul, your beneficence. Thank you. Thank you for that. All right, dear friends, we will see you tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat time. Actually, 8 a.m. per usual. Have a great and a glorious and a wonderful night. Don't ever change me that sincerely. I'm so looking forward to meeting with you. Have a wonderful night, a wonderful evening. Be safe. Don't forget, preparewithlionel.com and mypillow.com, promo code Lionel. Support those who support us. Anyway, as I said, I think I said, the monkey's dead. You know the rest. The monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Let me hit the clicker, the little tab again, so I can officially end this.